I just received this box from Odette, one of my favorite sites. I've already opened the second flush black tea. I'm just going to open this. Even before opening the seal, it smells too good. Let me just open. Look at that. How long, big and beautiful each tea leaf is. Like this, I've got first flush and orange tea. I'll just open and then get back. So this is it. This is the first flush Vasa from Teamonk and orange picoi black tea, another favorite of mine. So in case you're wondering what this first flush or second flush of tea leaves is, it's just basically the time in which the harvest is done, and depending upon which the taste and the flavor profile of the tea that you use, it changes. Typically the first flush happens during the springtime, somewhere between March and April, and the second flush is summer flush. They also call it a summer flush. It happens during June and July. There is always a debate between the tea tasters which flush is better. It is yet again, it's just your personal preference. I mean, myself, I always love to try different types of teas. The first flush, what is so beautiful about it is that since it's growing during the springtime, there is not much of sunlight, and water is available. Not much of sunlight is there. Tea leaves, they need a lot of sunlight and water to grow. Since there is not abundant sunlight, they take their own sweet time to grow. Thereby the nutrition profile, the antioxidants and the caffeine amount, there is lots of it. So it's so delicate, it's very mild in flavor. So if you're up for something that's very delicate and mild flavor, the first flush is always your cup of tea. And typically green teas and oolong teas, they are always better if we have the first flush. And I'd prefer the Eastern type of brewing method for this. What is an Eastern type of brewing method is more tea leaves and less water proportion, so that and the duration of the brew time should be very less, so that you can do multiple brews, and every time the flavor, the tea the taste of the tea, it changes from mild to strong as your number of brews increases. So Eastern method is always better for this. And coming to the second flush that happens during the summertime between June and July, it is such that it has this type of tea is more suited for you if you're looking for a very strong flavor, that bull-bodied, rich and intense flavor. This is for you. And typically Assam tea, the second flush is best. And there's always been a debate going on for Darjeeling tea. You can ask, what about Darjeeling tea? You have not mentioned, it is not there in the first flush or in the second flush. Darjeeling teas, the amount of oxidation for their black tea does not happen as much as the other black teas around the country, around the world. They take it a bit fast. The oxidation time is very limited. It is more about the freshness. So I don't think Darjeeling tea falls on any of these profiles. There is one more flush called as the third flush, that is the autumn flush, that happens somewhere between October-November time. Whatever the flush is, the third flush, the autumn flush is always the lowest of both of these. So which one is better? It is your personal choice. And yeah, coming to the brewing time, the Western brew method is always better for the second flush. What is the Western brew method? Less tea, more water, and more time for what do you call brewing, so that it will be very dark and intense. So which type of brewing method is better? Again, it's your own personal choice. See, if I have a lot of time, I want to enjoy the flavor and the the sensitivities of the tea, I'd go for the first flush and I'd go for the Eastern brew, wherein I'll take a small amount of tea, brewed tea every time, and as the number of brews increases, the flavor profile increases. If I have a very less time, I want things get done fast, I want that caffeine kick, instant caffeine kick, I'd go for the second flush, because it is fast. The brew, though the brew time may be high, the profile, the intensity is more. So it's all, end of the day, it's your own personal preference, but I'm really very happy that I've got it. While brewing, maybe I'll take another video and upload it so that you'll know the difference in the color. I'll get back to you. I'm gonna first start with my first flush Basa. I just couldn't wait to try this. I just finished having my lunch. I'm gonna open it and be back. You see how beautiful, long and green they look. They still have some green tinge in them, that slow growth. See that? They're still green. Beautiful. So I'm gonna try brewing it according to the Eastern method. Okay, so I'm just adding it to my 500 ml pot. So what is Eastern method is that you add more tea leaves with little bit amount of water and you do a multiple brewing. So I'm adding a lot of tea leaves and then just a small amount of water so that they get soaked in. Just let it rest for 1 minute and then I'll be back. It's been exactly 1 minute since I started brewing my first flush tea, and look at that beautiful golden color. Look at how light it is. So first I'm just gonna start taking it a little at a time. So first, after drinking this, now this will brew for some more time, and the color will increase, the flavor will also increase. Let me just try it. First, smell. Good teas are more like wine. You need to smell it, taste it, and then enjoy it relaxed. Too good. Cheers.